Hey guys, this is DFD, aka Dark Frozen Depths, back with another Kamihime project video. Now, I'm going to make this short because it's pretty much something that's been done a few times before, so I'm going to go over some things, and then also point out some things I haven't noticed before. But, before I even get into it, gotta mention the fact that, for one, you're probably noticing music in this video. I'm going to try to do that for a few of these, just so it's got something in the background, but if YouTube wants to take it down, so be it. I'll try to keep the original copy just in case. I could probably replace it with a different song if need be. But if copyright claims happen, then yeah, I'm going to have to probably change that stuff. Second, I do have to mention that this will eventually become a permanent event later down the line, where on the same tab with Guild Order and all that, they'll list a whole bunch of advents together that will cycle through each other. This happens later down the line as well, so all the more reason to try and get as much stuff as you can now so you can get extra copies when it becomes permanent. Because those copies, when it becomes permanent, does not refill. So, keep that in mind. And also, one other thing too. We are not too far off from towers, so you probably will want to try and work on thunder teams as well at some point. So, just a heads up, if you want a very good thunder weapon, go for full. Because that Thunder Guardian has a very good weapon. That gun is extremely good. But anyways, moving on with the event itself. Yatagarasu's back for another round. She's had so many reprints looking at this list, and she'll get a permanent edition eventually. Ironically, the permanent thing happened on my birthday on DMM, go figure. But anyways, since this is another advent, you're on your own. Can't sit up and get help from other people. So make sure you're able to at least clear expert, preferably ultimate. And if you're able to clear Ragnarok, you may want to save up those cores because again, 4th tier souls are coming soon, so you may want to start stocking up on them just in case. You need a lot of stuff for that. But anyways, the Adoin herself, she's so-so starting off. There's better options if you happen to come across them. The weapons though are very good, so I'll go over that. But first things first, the actual fight itself. Now, notice how on expert she doesn't have this defense increase, nor does she put a damage over time debuff on you, so that's something to know. Ultimate, she gets in her normal mode, it will add a burn type of debuff on you, along with the curse effect. And keep in mind, a curse, if I remember correctly, will prevent you from healing, so that's kinda bad. But it will either prevent you from healing or stop your abilities from going something. It will lock you out of something. I think it was a healing one. But raging mode, she'll put a defense up on herself too, and it will double her defense on ultimate. On Ragnarok, it's only 60% for some strange reason. But the damage over time debuff is going to hit you for 10% of your HP, so keep that in mind. So that's per tick, and it can last for a bit, so it will sip and start taking out quite a bit of health. So keep that in mind. 920,000 HP on ultimate, almost 3 million on Ragnarok. It's like 250,000 away from that. My suggestion for you, Cassiopeia, definite help if you can't remove buffs off of her, so you don't want to drag the fight out. And she'll also heal. Mordred might be good because of the fact that you can land debuffs on her and also speed up the fight that way, because you want to get your defense debuffs on her. And the only other one I can suggest is possibly setting up having somebody to remove effects off of yourself, so there's that too. Again, Cassiopeia can come in with that. Mordred can give you some protection with that one. Cassiopeia can only have it if you put Vivian's skill on her though. Other than that, use whatever solely fits you, basically. But, here's something new. Now, this thing right here, this is something I never noticed before, I don't think. But this is some sort of rating system they have on here. You can take a quick look at it. This is their estimates for it. This bottom one is if you're using a wind team. This top one is if you're using a water team. So go somewhere in between if you're, off element. Oh, it says other than wind. Okay, yeah, so this is if you're not using wind. So this is off element, basically. If you're using wind, you're going to need even more. So they give you ratings based on whether something's going to be a problem or not. So keep that in mind. And this is practically to clear the they say to clear Ultimate, but I think this might be more for Ragnarok. It depends on how strong your teams are in your Kamihime. And then they got an extensive list on here for Ragnarok, but basically it's the same thing what I'm saying. You pretty much want to make sure the debuff's off you so you're not getting damage over time and all that. Make sure the fight's not dragged out with the defense buff, because it lasts for like 4 minutes, so yeah. And also something to note too, the 2 orb count means you will start spamming those quite a bit, so Mordred will also extend that. But getting into the usual stuff, a lot of this stuff is things you get from pretty much the permanent reprint, but some of it still applies to us. I do have to point out this one thing. This gun and this hammer is worth getting, both of them. So you may actually grind out for both SSR weapons. The gun more so than the hammer, because the gun can go in the final break. So keep that in mind. Both of them give you some pretty decent effects, but the hammer itself gives more defender if need be. Of course, ability damage for fire is kinda iffy if you don't have the right Hime, but a lot of SSR can actually use it, so this is the one time I would suggest actually having ability damage, but only if you can fit it into your grid. If you have other stuff, then don't worry about it. But it is a fire hammer, so there's that too. But this is the one time I could say probably get maybe 1 copy of that hammer. Like 1 fully upgraded copy of the hammer. The gun is a definite. Gun's first priority, without a doubt. The hammer, like I said, ability damage. Elaborate's normally not that great, but there are quite a few SSR that can actually utilize it pretty well. So that's the one time I gotta suggest it. I have to clarify that because there may be some disagreement. But again, that's my opinion on the hammer. The gun's a definite, the gun's unanimous, so definitely get the gun. The hammer, if you feel like you want to use Elaborate for your fire team, go for it. But if you have Fire Dion later down the line, then the hammer may actually help you out, because you could use some more HP and then some more ability damage too. Fire Artemis, if you have her right now, is a definite. Like, fire can get quite a bit of HP if you get the right weapons, so it will keep them alive a lot longer because they are a glass cannon. It's if you want to build that route. My main suggestion to you is definitely get the gun. The hammer, only if you feel like you can really utilize it. As for the Adon herself, she is elemental attack. Well, it says fire attribute attack up. I don't know if she's elemental attack or character attack, now that I really think about it, but she's not really worth getting unless you really need to fill slots anyways. But she can come with an attack down when you call her out mid-fight, so there's that at least. And she gives ability damage when you use her, but again, if you're going to go that route, just get the hammer, where you not only get the ability damage, but also a cap increase, because it will increase the soft cap by not much, but it still will. But like I said, gun, priority, definite. Hammer, maybe if you can use Elaborate. If not, don't worry about it. As for the Adon, she's a filler. If you got better ones, then you probably don't need her anyways, because there's quite a few other ones that even fill sub-slots better, so she's a filler to a T. So if you don't really have the spaces for her, then just sell her off for orbs or something. You shouldn't need the SR weapons for your point blank unless you're really trying to build up that grid, and well, I wouldn't really try to force it with these SR weapons because there's other options down their line. But the gun, definitely worth. Hammer, possibly. The Adon, possibly as well, but less than the hammer. So there's those. Of course, you can get gacha tickets and all that type of stuff too. They don't show it on this list because it got a permanent one. But of course, you can get gacha tickets, grab those. Magic Jewels, grab those. But more or less, you might be getting a gun and then just grinding out the rest of the stuff, depending on your situation. So that's something to know. Like, you just get the gun and grind out the tickets and magic jewels. Maybe the books if you need them, and call it a day. Soul points always could be useful, but only if you really, really need them. Also, the event mission, light. You pretty much know the whole drill with the rest of it if you've seen enough of this at this point. And quite frankly, I'm kind of tired of repeating myself on that one, so I'm just going to mention the element that you need for Ultimate and call it a day. And also keep in mind that these cores too will indeed be tradable later down the line when this becomes permanent, so you may not have to save them up, but if you want an easier time getting the 4th tier souls, you do need to save it. But if you aren't saving it, you can spend it on more Dragonic Eye Shards if you want to. But anyways, that's pretty much all I got for this one. Like I said, there's going to be more events coming down the line. If the event list is followed, then we're going to have another event before the tower, so there will be 2 events before tower at this point of the video. So keep that in mind. Like I said, I have music in this one, so it's up to you guys if you want this type of format or not. Let me know in the comments, and also let me know in the comments, just for the heck of it, your opinion on the hammer for this event as well, because to be quite honest, not everybody can really use elaborate, but the fact that you have an SSR character that nukes really hard with it, there's a few more that nuke really hard for it. One of them nukes often. You should know who it is just by doing enough research. It's a Sevarog if you don't, but she can pretty much ability damage every 3 turns. Honestly, Fire could actually get some good uses out of elaborate if you actually get some of it, but there's other ways to possibly get it. But like I said, that's probably the one time you may actually want that hammer. That, or if you're doing a hammer grid, you probably need to get some extra space. But anyways, like I said, that's all for this. More is going to come soon, and I doubt I'll do a video of this, but I still might anyways, who knows. But anyways, that's all for now, guys. More is going to come soon, and take care.